Mic check. Boop, 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 boop. We're in this. Hello? Hello? Are we on?
We on? No,
We're on. I think we're on. Hey, people, I go by the name of Zoosh, a.k.a. Guyver.
And I go by the name of Drizzy Freckles, a.k.a. The Golden Child.
And this is Watch It or Not
TV.
the best movie and TV review show across the land. People, we're back. It's a new day. It's a new episode. We got new news and we got new reviews for you. Yeah, but before we get into all of that, I'm gonna need you to do the right thing. I'm gonna need you to subscribe, like, even leave a comment. Yeah, just a little comment, not much. Whether you disagree, agree, if you've got a recommendation for us, anything, just a little comment. You know how the thing's set. You know how it works. You know how it works, yeah? And press that notification bell. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that, man. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Man like Golden Child, man. How's life? How you been? How's things?
Good, brother. I'm good, brother. I'm sure the pain is same for you. Just trying to stay warm, bro. Just trying to stay warm.
Just trying to stay warm.
These murky times. Now the rain's joined the party. It was alright with the cold and its own thing, but now it's a double act. Now the rain's got involved, and now all of a sudden there's just bare leaves on the floor. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
when it's cold outside. I was gonna say though, as a British citizen, are you not used to this by now? How about that?
I don't think you can ever get used to it. It's scheduled to happen. I just don't think you get used to it. That's like saying get used to getting punched in the face. I don't think you can ever get used to getting punched in the face. You know what I mean?
It depends how much times you get punched in the face. If you get punched in the face like regular for a couple years, like pretty much your whole life, then I would think by a certain time you're like, you know what? I confirm that. Yeah. That. Anyway, man. People, welcome, man. We are here. Like we said, man, we got some new stuff to talk about. As always, movies and TV shows, because this is what we do. This is what we enjoy. So let's get straight into it, man.
Today's one is a bit of a today's one we both felt like this one kind of just went under the radar.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that later.
And I'm upset a little bit, especially when I heard a few things that I heard. I was like, really? All right, cool. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Before that, we got just a little bit of news for you. So first up, we got an update on Scary Movie. I'm gonna be happy with a couple of these updates. I'm not gonna lie, especially when it pertains to Scary Movie. I want to know what's going on. Now I know the Wayans are back involved. I want to know what's going on. But the update was that the old cast will be making a return. So apparently the script was, before the Wayans got involved, like the script was already getting done. But it involved the old cast. And so with that involved Marlon. And then apparently he was like, yo, cool, I'll get involved, but I'm interested in buying the rights back. So they told him the number. Obviously, he's out here doing his thing and family backing. It's like, bro, we got that, man. Send that back over. So now he's going to be writing the script, making it a lot more funnier, because obviously everything after 2 is just a waste of your time. So the important part about what I just said is we're going to be getting the old cast back, which I am excited about. Now, I don't know in what capacity they're going to be making a return back, but let's just hope it's more than a little flashback or a 5-minute cameo. I'm hoping they're involved. There's obviously going to be a new cast involved, but let's just hope that the old cast get some airplay. Get some screen time. Get some screen time. Scary Movie is a classic. I don't care what you tell me. There is way too many funny moments in both of them films. But the only thing I'm concerned about is this stupid ass council culture that we're in and what that will do in terms of the script. Because some of my funniest jokes in Scary Movie, they are You hear me? They kind of crossed the line, you know?
Yeah,
It's a bit like, raw, I don't know. I don't know how that works in 2024. So I can only hope that the Wayans just do what they do best and just middle finger to the, you hear me, to the system.
I agree.
And do what they do. If you gotta face whatever backlash to make what the gem you need to make, then so be it. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see what's to come with Scary Movie.
No, I'm all here for it, bro. Because we're definitely missing. There's a lack of those parody genre movies around. You know what I'm saying? We get them in little drips and drabs here and there, but there's definitely a gap missing for that, man. So yeah, man. Fingers crossed that comes out sooner rather than later. The other thing we got though, before we get to the main event, is man like Colin Farrell, aka Oswald Cobblepot, just hot off the heels of the Penguin that just wrapped up last week Sunday. He's confirmed that his character will have 5 to 6 scenes in Batman 2, and he's already signed on for Batman 3. So we don't know what's going to happen, but the good thing is we are getting more of the Penguin, which is great news because that's one of those characters that, while it were dabbling with the anti-hero arc, at some points you were kind of like feeling sorry for him and this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
At the end of the show, there is no question about it. This guy is a bad son of a bitch. That's just what it is. But Zush, why are we here, sir? Why are we here?
All right, we are here to talk about a film that I believe means a lot to me and you, Drizzy, man. I feel like this one, not well, before seeing it, like just what this was about and what this represents. This holds a place. So I'm gonna say from the get-go, I might be a little bit biased in my review on this one. I might be a little bit biased, but I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, like this one's one of them ones, and of course, I'm talking about Piece by Piece, the documentary, the bio about Pharrell Williams, but in Lego animation. Yeah, you heard me right. It's a Lego film. Yeah. When I heard that, I was like, I get it. I understand. I said, I understand. What more do you need? Don't listen. I was here for it. But yeah, so Pharrell Williams put out a documentary, but Pharrell being Pharrell, he did it in Lego form. So this is it's a biopic about Pharrell, but it's a Lego movie. Reason why me and Drizzy were saying what we were saying in terms of we're a bit disappointed about this is because we haven't heard much about it.
No.
We haven't heard much about this film. We haven't really heard anyone talking about it. And just today, I found out this film only made like 3.5 in box office. Cost about 16 mil. So that's a stinker. That's a stinker, bro.
Which is unfortunate because let me not get ahead. And carry on, sir. Carry on.
Well, yeah, it's a stinker. It's disappointing, and I felt like not enough people, especially not enough of our own, came out and supported this. Now, it might be a case of people not knowing that this was even out. I'm not going to say I saw it all over the place. Maybe because I wanted to see it, I paid a lot more attention to it. It could have easily been one of those things that you just thought was another Lego movie and had no idea it was even about Pharrell. So there's a few factors in this why it may not have got the support it got. However, I do know there was still a lot more people that knew about this, and I felt like this should have been, especially from the hip hop community, man. This is the first of its kind. This is something new. This is Like, whether it's good or bad, let's just see where we can make improvements if need be. The next time round when someone gets this opportunity to put their bio on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt like that was a bit of an L in terms of this not really getting the support
It's giving. It's
it
giving
needed.
Transformers One. That's what it's giving.
Yeah,
Giving
yeah,
Transformers
yeah,
One. You know when it's like
yeah,
this happened, and then you're like, that's the results. You're like, but how? Yeah. Come to think of it, bro. Like, I don't recall like a Pharrell promo run. Like, say, even if it's done via Zoom. Excuse me, where it's like, we'll have the promo run where he's doing like the UK stuff, where it's like with UK interviewers, top class journalists like you and I.
yeah.
But like this, do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're speaking to him like this. I don't recall seeing any of that or any posters or anything like that. I think I found out about this either via Twitter or I saw. I think Noriega spilled the beans on Drink
You were
Champ.
speaking
So,
about it.
yeah, I've done some vocal work for Pharrell for this Lego movie or something, and I was like, is he drunk? Is he high? Is it a combination of both, or is he? Let me Google. Oh, and I was like, all right, cool. I gotta check this out. There's no way I'm watching this.
Now, to be fair, I did see a few press runs. Nah, he was on a few shows.
Yeah.
He did. Well, no, he wasn't on a few shows. I did see some press runs, and I did hear about it. I can't remember how I heard about it, but I was seeing this about, and I did see it. It was on my algorithms. I heard about it. I saw posters.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's dive into this one. Let's get into this. So, like we said, this follows the journey of Pharrell Williams from way back when he's a youth man. Early on, I think it starts from when he's about 7, something silly.
Something like that, yeah.
And
that early.
and this just follows the journey through his life and how he became the genius of our era that is Pharrell Williams. You get me? And I don't use that term, too regular. But
this is the right context.
he's one of those for our era, like hands down, like can't tell me nothing.
Nah.
So I liked how this started off, because it took you way back to the beginning. It took you before he even formed the Neptunes.
Yeah.
Which, let me just touch on that for a quick second.
Okay, good.
Let me just have a little fan moment, yeah?
Yeah, please.
See me and the Neptunes. See, I would say I'm
I
more
agree before you even say it.
of a bigger fan than the Neptunes than I am, say, of Pharrell Williams by himself. Like, I'm a big fan of Pharrell Williams,
Yeah.
but that's because of the Neptunes. Like, let me just... So, this starting where it started, before we even get to meeting Chad and whatever not, was what I felt like I wanted from the documentary. Like, I wanted to know some behind the scenes, because you kind of know a bit about Pharrell. Like, what there is to know about Pharrell, he's quite a private person, so there isn't really too much out there. So, from this, you're kind of hoping to get a little behind the scenes of how he became who he is, basically. And if you're a fan of that whole movement, like, this is like, all right, cool, I'm here for this. So I thought it started quite well in terms of where they started from.
I like that it started exactly how it was advertised. Because, normally you might get like, it's real time human form, and then they might go touch something, and then the whole world behind them just starts turning into Lego, and then they turn into Lego, and then they carry on. Like,
Yeah, that was sick. Yeah.
It's just straight. At one point, I was like, raw, like, we're just starting. We are Lego. Okay, cool. All right, say no more. It took me a couple seconds to get my head. Oh, and he's talking to his kid. I was like, yo, okay, all right, cool. I'm here.
That was sick.
And the way he then said, he doesn't say out and out, I'd like to tell my story or take you guys back or anything. But the guy who's interviewing him was like, how would you like to tell this story? And he's like, man, you know what would be fly? And then he starts breaking down And I'm like, oh my days, like, okay, let's go,
and
let's
and
go,
and
let's
just
go.
and just knowing what you know of like that Pharrell and the whole Neptunes, like them even wanting to do this in a Lego format, like just
It
makes
makes
perfect sense. It just makes perfect sense to just the mind
you
and the
can't do this.
creativity.
You can't do this as a normal movie or
Nah, nah,
documentary. You can't. You
nah.
can't do. Doesn't matter how many episodes Netflix gave it. You can't do it. Either had to be like this or animation or anime or something like that. That's the
Yeah,
only
yeah,
way,
yeah.
because the way the Neptunes was thinking and providing these type of beats, this sums up. This movie is like, this is the only way you can tell this story.
Which I thought was sick the way they showed you how his mind worked using the
Yeah.
Lego, and how they explained how music was
Yep.
working and how he saw it. And like I just thought it was quite dope the way they did that. I thought it was really slick and creative the
Colors.
way they portrayed music in like the form, and he would take like these little pieces of yellow Legos that were in boxes, and you take that and you put that here, and then it just forms like this mad sound and shapes and colors. I was like, yeah, this is sick the way they're doing this. So that
The
whole
attention to
idea,
detail was immaculate. Like
yeah,
the attention to detail in regards to like from the way they showed like this scenes of like being by the beach and stuff, the way they showed like the water coming up on the shore, like even like we know they can't eat, but they still showed you like, oh, they got a pretzel, oh, they got ice cream,
yeah,
oh, they got
yeah,
this, oh, they
yeah.
got that. Like, yeah, man, those scenes where he was, that one scene I think you're referring to right at the beginning where he's introduced to music via his
And he's
brand.
listening. Was it Marvin Gaye's record when he's listening to Marvin Gaye?
No, Stevie Wonder, Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, and he
And the
goes
way
into
that
like the
whole
tunnel.
thing just, oh my
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
brother,
yeah,
you
yeah,
can't, you
yeah, yeah.
can't, you can only do that. This, you'd have to use way too much CGI and it would look a bit off. This is the only way to tell Pharrell's story. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was it, but now I've seen it. This is the only way you could tell Pharrell's story.
Even the detail with the characters. So if we talk
Yeah.
a bit about the cast, obviously this was a story about Pharrell, so it was everyone that was kind of involved in his life. So you had the artists that he worked with. You had Snoop, you had Nori, you had Jay, you had Gwen Stefani, you had Kendrick. Like you had a whole heap of artists. Then you had his manager, who I was happy to see because I know they're in a bit of a little something now, a little passer now with Chad. I don't
Yeah.
obviously this was done a little while
Yeah.
ago, so this might
Fingers
be
crossed.
before a lot of the friction was done.
Yeah.
But it was good to hear a bit from Chad. I'm not gonna lie, and I'll get a bit more into it a little bit later. But there definitely wasn't enough from Chad. I definitely felt like, and I know he's a quiet guy. He don't really talk. He don't really do nothing. But I felt like this was like the perfect time where you can do that. But like I said, they're in a bit of a passer, so who even knows where they're at? First time you kind of got to meet his wife, his family, his parents. Because look, they done quite a bit in comparison to like Chad. Like they spoke quite a bit. But I thought that was quite dope when we're talking about like details, like just how they did the characters and just presented different people that were involved in his life. Going into the actual story, how did you feel they portrayed the story of Pharrell in this? Because all right, so I'll start.
Okay.
I enjoyed this. Like I thought this was really, really, really dope. Like the way they did this. But one of my negative takes on this is it was very hollow. I didn't really feel like I got anything new from this. Like pretty much everything they showed from how the Neptunes kind of got put on via Nori, and that's not saying they didn't do stuff beforehand, but you kind of know that story with the whole Super Fug track, etc., etc. You know the story with Teddy Riley and the whole Reckon Effects thing. There was just loads of things that was like, all right, cool, but it was just a very shallow surface. It was like they touched on that and then they moved on. They touched on that and then they moved on. I think the only 2 points that was kind of new per se, or just kind of different to the narrative that the main film was about, was when his grand passed, and when he stopped making music for a little while.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when he stopped making music for a little bit, and his grand pass was only like the only moments where you're like, okay, cool, I don't really know much about this. But then that was just like a flyby. Like the way they just came and went, it was just like, oh, okay, cool. And then you're just kind of back to like the Lego film. So for me, that was a bit of an L. I just felt like it was very shallow. It was very just Pharrell just saying, yeah, this is me and this is what I've done. Ta-da. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, because it was only like an hour 34 minutes long. So maybe if they had made it, let's say we add an extra 16 minutes to that and make it 150. Maybe like there are things that I see what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I agree with the point of you wanted some things fleshed out a bit more. I agree with that.
Yeah, a bit more behind the scenes, because it is a doc. Like it is a doc. Like from a biopic. Like you're learning secrets. Like you're learning some stuff. It's like it digs deep. It's like, oh shit, how come you was in that slump? Like boom, boom, boom. Like all of this and that. And I just felt like you didn't necessarily get that from this. Like there just wasn't. I think maybe they spent too much time like with the artists as opposed to more how we got there and maybe behind the scene relationships. Again though, Pharrell's a private person, so it's not like I'm surprised that we didn't get this, but if we are gonna do this, why not give us this? Yeah, I mean, it's like, why not give us a bit more?
I think they did a good job explaining, like, introducing his mom and his pops. I think they did a good job of explaining to us how him and his wife, like, met. I did like that. Like, there was little gems in there. Like, I've heard the Nori story many a time. It never gets old.
Yeah.
Nori will tell it to you many different ways, but it's still the same way he tells it to you. But
yeah.
I like the way that they explained it, where he was like, you know, so Nori's like, yeah, so, you know, these guys come up to me like, yo, we got beats. And he goes, all right, here's beat number 3. I'll never forget this. Here's beat number 3.
But don't play it.
Don't play it until you get to Miami.
Yeah.
And the way they illustrated Nori, like Nori's on the plane, he goes, man, I really want to open this thing.
You know what that comes down to though? Nori just being a dope storyteller.
Yeah,
like the way he just even though it's always a bit higgy and a bit all over the place, what you're able to do with the information he gives you is like build that kind of story and kind of animation around it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
the concept of this film tied in with Nori's storytelling, chef's kiss, because the show they on the plane and he's like, yo, I'm like on the plane and I'm like, I want to see what the hell's going on with this beat. And
it would have been dope if he got Nori to narrate it, to be fair. That would have been sick.
Yeah.
That would have been sick.
But that was cool. I liked, like you said, the thing with his grandma passing away, but I think they did a very good job showing you how important his grandmother was to Pharrell being Pharrell, and the religion behind, not, I don't say the religion, but the faith within their family, how that came to play a few times to help Pharrell
100
and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know about the whole Teddy Riley contract trying to get out of that stuff, so I didn't know about that. So I was like, oh, I know about everything else leading up to that, but I was like, okay, cool. And I like the bit when he we'll talk about artists now. I like the bit where he was like, it was so cool me standing next to Jay-Z, and now I look, and now Jay-Z
standing next to me.
I like those little things there was cool, man. And you know, you hear the story, but seeing it in animation where Pusha T's like, you know, nothing was popping, so I'm out here just. And they made it smooth how they showed it was still selling, but they didn't make it like that drugs.
That was, you know, Pusha T was like, yo, you gotta get that in. You gotta don't snake me, my guy. Show what I was doing outside. You hear me? Pusha T slick with it.
Yo, that
But
was so slick.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that, but that's what I mean. I felt like because we knew a lot about, and I get it, because the Gwen Stefani's and the Jay-Z's, they're gonna sell it. And to be fair, if they couldn't even sell it, then what I wanted from it probably weren't even gonna sell, because I wanted to hear Philly's Most Wanted. You hear me? I wanted to hear Diva. I wanted to hear not just Super Funk, but when they did ho no, that tune there when Nori did that, because that was the only tune Nori done with, man. So I wanted to hear a bit more backstories, studio sessions, like things that went a bit left. Like I wanted to hear a bit more about that.
What,
so this was cool, but this was real the commercial.
I would watch this like if they said, because I'm tempted to buy a couple of DVDs, because obviously DVDs have like extra footage, like hour long or whatever. I'd be tempted to
I was just
out a
thinking
DVD if this has got like extra bonus footage and how long it is, because they got like an hour's footage sitting there that they took out of the film or whatever.
That would be sick.
I'd happily watch that. Yeah.
That would be sick, because the realness is, this film's for the fans, and I feel like that's why it didn't do as well. Like if you're not really a fan of Pharrell or the Neptunes or want to know more, like I can't see you run into this, because like I said, he doesn't have like the most interesting story, and if there was gonna be like anything that was gonna perk your ears up, I'm pretty sure they would have used that in the marketing. Just like how, when someone's trying to sell a book, like when Jada was trying to sell a book and they're putting out all these little things and letters and stuff, so people's going to want to read the book to see the full story of that. I felt like that would have been the case with this if there was some juice in there. But there weren't no juice. And people want to see the juice. So unless you're a fan of Pharrell and a fan of the Neptunes, then you're not really running. You're not running to this just because he made Happy. This is why
what though? They could have used that in the marketing though, even if like
they
just sold you on the, wow, this is the guy who sang Happy, but he's doing it in Lego form. What's this? And they could have just added some more like holler back girl in there, or probably like dropping like his whole or front end, just those real.
I mean, they did on the soundtrack. I listened to the soundtrack because I thought there was going to be some new stuff, but there was only like 3 new tunes. The rest of it was tunes that was obviously in here. I would say one more thing. It's not a bad thing, but it is like just a little bit of slight. Just watching other Lego movies, I felt like they could have done a bit more with the actual Legos in this. Like there was a lot of colors and a lot of shapes and a lot of movements. There's not a lot of CGI with the Lego, like doing tricks and stuff with Lego. I just felt like you got a bit more from that from other Lego movies than you did from this. But other than that, man, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a fun film. I thought it fit perfectly to the brain and creativity that is behind a man like Pharrell and the Neptunes. I feel like obviously they could have dug a bit deeper and pulled some, made it a bit more, struck a bit more emotion out of it. I felt like that would have made it a bit better, but I enjoyed this, man. I like this film.
I like the scene where like I like the scene where he calls up Pusha and he goes, "Listen, you need to come to the studio now, because if you don't get here,
I'm giving this away."
And the way they showed him running and stuff like that to the studio, and then they had that slick little montage where they were just showing like the Neptunes are in the studio, and literally the studio in front of them, they just had it moving from one side to the other side. It was just like different artists.
Bro.
Bangers.
Like I never forget it, and it never leaves my head because like I still listen to 1 or 2 tracks. I'll go back in that. But for those who don't know or who do forget or it does slip their minds, like understand who these guys were. They held a moment in life. They held a whole generation and era for a hot minute, and I'm talking about across the board.
I just feel like they've been able to do everything a producer can possibly do. But I feel like they're a whole pie. They're not like a quarter pie or half.
Nah. And that's what makes this. That's what makes their story so sick as well. That's why I wanted to get more about like the dip. Like you see when they stopped Like,
Yeah.
what happened? Like, I get it, you lost a little passion, but what happened? What was happening? All right, man. But ratings. What we giving this? What we giving this?
You know what? Yeah, my bias is gonna add a point to this, so I'm giving this 9 out of 10 TVs.
9.
I'm
Okay.
going 9. I'm going hot, brother. This is
Okay.
my jam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fanboy.
Yeah,
Fanboy.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Guilty, Your Honor. I lied under the book. Guilty.
Come on. Come on, I hear you, man.
This was, brother.
I hear you. I hear you.
listened to so many Neptune things
Bro,
all the way back from the cinema.
It's not every day. It's not every day one of your favorite artists and creatives in this space gets a chance to do
Facts.
a biopic documentary in Lego form. Like, what we doing there, man? This is one point for hip hop, man. It's another point for hip hop, bro. What we doing there? So if we're doing biased, if we're doing up biased, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. It was
Bias
good.
added a point to it.
It did.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
No. I'm including everything. I didn't add on a point. I was going with 7. I was thinking seven strong. Like I said, for the points that I said it was, is why I couldn't give it a 9 because I didn't.
alright.
It wasn't enough in there. But on pure creativity and just pure enjoyment and fun. And I think one more thing, I think another thing as well with this is it concentrated more on it being a kids film because it was a Lego thing, but I don't think it's for kids. Like, kids won't, like, for the reasons why I said, kids don't want to hear Pharrell's story like we want to hear Pharrell's story.
It's a feel-good movie for sure.
It is, man. Well, peeps, it's definitely a watch it from us if you haven't clocked that, man. Go check that out, Piece by Piece, the movie on Pharrell Williams. Well, it's another good episode.
Yes, sir.
Here providing what we provide for you, man. That goodness, the good content. Yeah. People as usual, man. Stay up to date. Stay with us. Build the community. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all of them things there. It's watch it or not.
TV.